The rehearsal dinner was supposed to be perfect. White tablecloths, soft candlelight, the gentle clink of champagne flutes, my family on one side, his on the other, my sister Emily sitting right beside me, her laughter bright, her hand warm on my arm as she toasted to the sister who deserved every happiness. I remember how her diamond bracelet caught the light every time she lifted her glass, the same bracelet that helped her pick out for her birthday last year. I was floating to our 6 years with David, a dress hanging in my closet that felt like a dream, a sister who'd been my maid of honor since we were little girls, playing wedding with tea towels and dandelion crowns. And then my phone buzzed at first. I ignored it. David was giving his speech, voice steady, eyes soft, talking about destiny and patience and finally finding the one. My mother was crying quietly into her napkin. Emily squeezed my hand under the table. "She's perfect for you," she whispered. Her perfume, something new, something expensive, wrapped around me like a second embrace. The phone buzzed again, and again. I slipped it from my clutch under the table. 3 messages from an unknown number. No words, just photos. The first, David's car parked outside Emily's apartment building, due 17 A.M. Last Thursday, the night he said he was working late. The second, the two of them leaving a hotel downtown, not touching, not even looking at each other, but together. A week before, he proposed to me. The third, a screenshot of texts, hers. "I can't keep doing this." Him, after the wedding, "I promise." Hers. "You said that last time?" The room tilted. The champagne bubbles in my glass seemed to freeze midair. David's voice became a distant hum. My mother's tears now felt like a premonition. I looked at Emily. She was watching David speak, a small, private smile on her lips, the kind of smile you give someone when you share a secret. The room isn't in Nana. Her bracelet glinted. His bracelet, I realized now, not a birthday gift from a generous bonus, a guilt gift, a secret-keeping fee. David finished his speech to applause. He kissed my cheek. His lips felt like lies. "You okay?" Emily asked, her eyes wide with sisterly concern. Or maybe it wasn't concern, maybe it was fear. Maybe she'd been waiting for this moment, waiting for me to find out that the 2 people I loved most had been holding hands behind my back for months. "I'm perfect," I said, my voice strangely calm. And in that moment, something inside me shifted, something quiet, something cold, something that decided the wedding wouldn't be happening tomorrow, but the rehearsal dinner. All that wasn't over yet. They wanted a secret. I'd give them a revelation in front of everyone they'd ever wanted to impress. I stood up slowly, smoothing my dress. The room turned toward me, expecting a toast, a happy tear, a blushing bride. Speech. They had no idea what was coming, and as I picked up my champagne glass, not to drink, but to command silence, I caught Emily's eye across the table. She smiled, sweet and supportive, unaware that her world was about to shatter in the same room where mine just had. Some betrayals deserve flowers and forgiveness. Others deserve a spotlight and a microphone. And tonight, I was handing them both. The crystal glass chimed softly under my spoon, a sound so delicate, so innocent. Every head turned toward me. Candlelight flickered across expectant faces. My mother beamed, already emotional. David's father raised his glass, ready for another sentimental toast. At my sister Emily leaned forward, her expression a perfect blend of affection and anticipation. She thinks I'm going to thank her. I realized she thinks this is the moment. I'll call her my rock, my best friend, the sister who's always been there. The room fell into that warm, hushed silence reserved for brides. Even the waiters paused near the kitchen doors, their trays held still. I let the silence stretch, let it grow heavily, let their smiles begin to falter just slightly. David reached for my free hand under the table. His palm was damp. "Babe," he whispered, "you don't have to say anything." Buffed his eyes, said something else. "Please don't say anything." I smiled at him, the same smile I'd practiced in the mirror for 6 years. Then I turned my attention back to the room. "I want to thank everyone for being here tonight," I began, my voice steady, sweet, the voice of a happy bride. "It means so much to David and me." I could feel Emily relaxed beside me. This was safe. This was normal. This was the script. I lifted my champagne glass higher, the bubbles catching light like little lies about to pop. "There are 2 people here without whom this wedding, this love story, wouldn't be possible." David's fingers tightened around mine. "Too tight there first," I said, turning to him. my fiancé David, who taught me what trust means. A gentle ripple of Oz moved through the room. My mother dabbed her eyes again, and second, I continued, my gaze sliding slowly, deliberately, to my left. Emily met my eyes, her smile bright, already leaning in for her moment of public praise. My sister, Emily, she lifted her glass toward me, her bracelet flashing a tiny, arrogant wink in the candlelight. My sister, I repeated, softer now. The room leaned in. Who has been closer to David than anyone ever realized? The air changed, not all at once, but like a window cracking open in a heated room, a slight chill, a shift. Emily's smile didn't drop, but it stiffened, froze in place. Her eyes flicked to David, then back to me, a silent question. In fact, I said, setting my champagne glass down with a soft click, Emily has been so supportive that she and David have been meeting privately for months. A gasp from my aunt somewhere. A fork clattered onto a plate. Late nights, I continued, my tone still eerily calm. Hotel visits, texts about waiting until after the wedding. David stood up abruptly, his chair scraping loud against the floor. Maya, stop. But I was already reaching into my clutch. I didn't want to believe it at first, I said, pulling out my phone. But then these arrived, tonight. Right in the middle of David's beautiful speech about destiny, I turned the screen toward the table, toward his parents, toward my father, toward the priest sitting quietly at the end. The photos glowed in the dim light, undeniable, intimate, damning. Emily's face went white, not red with shame, white with shock, like she'd been slapped by a ghost. So, I said, my voice finally trembling, not with sadness, but with a cold, clean rage. Before we toast to love and loyalty, maybe my sister and my fiancé would like to explain to all of you what their love story has been. I looked at Emily, really looked at her, saw the little girl who used to braid my hair, the teenager who held me when my first heartbreak shattered, me, the woman who just helped me zip my wedding dress 2 hours earlier. Go ahead, I whispered, just to her, tell them how supportive you've been. The room was utterly silent now, a stunned, breathless silence. The kind that comes right before the scream. And in that silence, I realized this wasn't revenge yet. This was just the unveiling. The real punishment was watching them stand there, exposed, naked in their betrayal in front of every person whose opinion they'd ever cared about. The wedding might be canceled, but the show was just beginning. The silence that followed wasn't just quiet, it was heavy, suffocating, like the room itself was holding its breath, waiting for someone to move, to speak, to make sense of the fracture that had just split the evening in two. Emily stood up, slowly, her chair didn't make a sound. She looked at me, and for the first time in our lives, I saw no apology in her eyes. Panic, raw, unmasked, panic. Maya, she whispered, voice breaking. It wasn't don't, I cut her off. Not angry, not loud, just final. Don't lie to me again. Not here. David was still standing, frozen, halfway between sitting and fleeing, his face pale under the warm candlelight. He looked at Miriali, looked, and I saw it. The moment he realized he'd lost me. Not just tonight, but forever. It wasn't regret for what he'd done. It was a regret for getting caught. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. My father stood, his face like stone, eyes locked on David with a quiet, terrifying fury I'd never seen before. Is this true? He asked, his voice low and dangerous. No one answered. I didn't need them to. I turned toward the door. I didn't grab my coat. I didn't look back at the ruined table, the half-eaten meals, the champagne that now tasted like poison in everyone's glasses. I just walked out. No one tried to stop me. Out in the hallway, the air felt different, colder, cleaner. The sound of my heels on the marble floor echoed like a heartbeat. I could still hear the muffled chaos from the dining room behind me, voices rising, chairs scraping, Emily crying out, something I couldn't make out and didn't want to. I pushed through the heavy doors into the night. Rain had started to fall off, cool, washing the warmth of betrayal from my skin. I stood under the awning, breathing in the damp air, watching my wedding rehearsal dissolve into a memory I'd never wanted. A hand touched my shoulder. I turned. It was my little cousin, Chloe 16, eyes wide, holding my clutch in her trembling hands. You forgot this. she whispered, then pulled me into a fierce, sudden hug. "You're so brave," she mumbled into my shoulder, and then she was gone, slipping back inside, leaving me alone in the quiet dark with the phone that had ended my future still tucked in my palm. Brave. I didn't feel brave. I felt hollowed out, empty, where love and trust used to be. But in that emptiness, in that quiet after the storm, I felt something else. Something small, but solid. Something like strength. Not the kind that comes from anger or revenge, but the kind that comes from finally seeing the truth and choosing not to look away. I got into my car, but I didn't drive away. The other part of video will be continued.